People always ask me how I get these projects done. I've got 4 kids, a demanding job, a wife I love spending time with. It comes down to 2 things. I don't sleep enough, and I'm pretty efficient. Bye, have a good day. Evening finally arrives after kid time, wife time, getting the house ready for tomorrow, tidying up. I may have anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours where I can do quiet things, which include editing, idea generation, scripting. Thankfully, I have Friday mornings to myself. It's a magical 4 hours where once I get the kids out of the house, taking them wherever they need to be, do some shopping, cooking, cleaning. Usually I have best part of 2 hours to cut, weld, make as much noise as I want. I always make sure that there's at least an hour between me finishing making a mess, a noise, to get the house clean, odorless, very important by the way, back to normal. So when everyone comes back, there's no trace of the crazy stuff that I do. While working with my welding machine yesterday, it broke. What happened was the steel rod that's inserted and keeps pushing itself out got stuck here on the actual mouth or the opening of the nozzle, and when I tried to fix it, just completely broke the entire thing. I sent an email to the company. It's an Amazon shipment, but it's really cheap, so I'm very, very skeptic that I'm going to get any response from HZX Vogan. Anyway, the next best thing is to use epoxy glue to fix. Well, so epoxy is a double substance that you need to mix in order to create a chemical reaction that will then help this mixture of 2 substances to stick rock hard on whatever you do. It's meant to be amazing. I've actually used it in the past, mainly at work, but I've never really bought a steel reinforced epoxy. So this should be interesting to see how good it comes out. Harmful if swallowed. Harmful in contact with skin. Irritant, may cause reproductive harm, may cause allergic skin reaction. It's crazy that companies that develop this need to write harmful if swallowed. Who's going to swallow this? 4 to 6 hours. Wow, that means I can't use my welder today. If swallowed, oh look, there's more instructions. If swallowed, rinse mouth. Immediately call a poison center or doctor. I don't even know if we have poison sensors in Israel. If on skin or in eyes, rinse with water for 15 minutes and immediately seek medical attention. Interesting. Let's hope we won't need that. Okay, 4 to 6 hours, that's how long you need to wait. It takes 2 days to get ready, so it's 4 to 6 hours to dry, and then you still need to wait an extra 2 days. What I'm gonna do is just glue it like it is now. So the blue tube won't be able to move anymore because it will be glued to both the 2 pieces of the copper. got this cute little stick that you can only use once to make something that will become this cool dark grey. Remember that? You know what, I've got a good idea, I'm going to use gloves. Okay, that was it. It took me 1 minute more or less. Try to do a uniform layer around the entire tube that you can't see anymore, and it also sticks to the piece of rubber that's meant to probably protect my hands while welding. This entire thing is covered with a handle, which we will put back on once the glue is all dry. First epoxy glue failed completely. It failed when I tried to put it back into the cover that holds the actual nozzle. Let me show you what it looks like. Broke. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to obviously glue it again, making a much thicker surroundings of the neck, and I'm going to do it in place already. So I've already positioned this in place because getting this plastic back on is a real hassle. It's really hard to get it in place, and it probably affected the neck itself. So I'm going to re-glue this with the epoxy in place. Once it's dry, I'll close it up and hope for the best. The epoxy glue failed the second time as well, even with the thicker neck. I ended up just removing the thread that had broken and re-screwing the remaining piece. It was that easy, and I could get back to work. You can see how the welding process scorches the floor, and this is the main reason for this project, so I can weld and cut on a table and not on the floor. The trickiest part was positioning the table on the hinges so that I can screw the table to the hinges. It took me so long, you wouldn't believe it. Another challenge was the legs. They were meant to fit perfectly inside the leg hinge, but they didn't, and I had to cut out 3 of the 4 sides. This was challenging because it wasn't an easy cut, and it's also not as sturdy as I wanted it to be. But after I cut out the 3 corners, it fit perfectly inside the hinge. And that's the fold-up table. If you haven't realized it already, the gap in the middle is to let me cut pieces of wood while being in the middle of the table. This table will bring me one step closer to perfecting my in-house workspace while saving the integrity of my knees and the floor I weld on. Stay tuned for the next video where I create a roll-down painting station. As always, thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.